got to give Tulane credit. They hit some great shots, some tough shots. Ed Conroy's one of the great guys in the business, does a great job with Tulane. So full credit to Coach Conroy and Tulane on that. We had a 62-57 lead. Austin missed a free throw, and Shaq, obviously committed a silly foul, 80 feet from the basket, and then, we didn't come up with the rebound for, that's stuff that we work on constantly. We just had a mental lapse, and that ended up biting us in the butt. And then we got in a little bit of a scoring drought where we just couldn't score the ball. We had a couple opportunities there from open threes by Avery. He had some good looks, just missed them. And Austin, I thought Austin and Shaq really both were really good for us tonight. It was just our perimeter players did not play well today. We didn't get good production out of our perimeter play, but our Austin and Shaq I thought were excellent. But we really had our two guys, Austin and Shaq, really played at a high level. So, but we just need our perimeter guys to be a little better. And tonight they just weren't, and that's what happens. And got to give Tulane full credit.
Coach, you touched on it there. I mean, how much does it hurt when you have Austin and Shaq play the way that they did to ultimately go on and lose the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, Trey Sean, who's been really good for us this year, did not have a good game. Trey Sean wasn't his normal self today. And like versus Houston, didn't have a good first half, but had a great second half. So you just think he'd kind of, break out of it. Just, didn't have his normal game today. And Pookie had 9 assists, but he did have 7 turnovers. And, Pookie's obviously been better than what he's been today. And Avery, who, he's been lethal from three-point range, just did not make some open shots, some key threes. I thought if he hit 1 or 2, might have opened up the game, and he had some good looks. He just missed them. And the other thing, he had a couple miscues on where he's so good on boxing out, where he's like the absolute best at it. He just had some miscues on that. So that's what happens when we don't when our perimeter players shoot the ball in that way. And I thought it does hurt not to have that win for Shaq and Austin, especially for Austin, as good as he played. I mean, that was a tremendous performance.
Josh, first single-digit game. You've had blowouts one way or the other all season long. When it comes down to crunch time, and Pookie did have 9 assists, but he throws it away 3 straight times. Yep. Did the moment become too big for him? He played a little fast.
I thought he played a little bit like a freshman, but you know what? That's gonna happen. This is his first time he was in that situation, and that's part of the growing pains. And we're going to have another game like this where it's going to be a crunch time game in conference, and he'll play better the next time. This is all part of it, and he'll be better. He cares. He's invested. He just did not, down the stretch there, he struggled a little bit. But we're going to have some more games where it's going to be crunch time, and he'll be. I assure you, he'll be better.
Just talk about Stark and why so much trouble defending him, I guess.
Well, I thought Stark hit some great shots, very good player. I thought we did a good job the first half. He was 3 of 10, but he had some tough shots. I mean, there's that one there where Avery was right in his face, and the kid just hit a tough shot. He's a good player. So you got to give him credit. And so it's more just he had some really, really tough shots, and we put some different guys on him. We had Karan on him. We had Trey Sean on him. We had Avery on him. We had Pookie on him. We're putting some different guys on him. Just the kid's a good player. Hit some really tough shots.
It feels like Austin has really tried to step up and be the leader in a season that hasn't always gone spectacularly easily. Is that, he sat over there saying all the right things. Has that been his role in the locker room and on the team this year?
Austin's had a terrific year, Jeff. He's been at a very high level. And the thing that I'm most proud of him defensively, he's been where last year he was, one of the worst defenders probably in the country. Everyone's game plan was to attack him. He's now done a 180, and he's one of the better defenders in the country. And sometimes you just can't have him off the floor for even defense. Forget just offense, just for defense. And he's just, he's a high level guy, and he's playing like he's supposed to be playing. So I'm really proud of him.
Coach, your thoughts on the turnover? It seemed like every time they got one, they capitalized.
Biggest thing in the game, 24 points off of our 16 turnovers. That's the key to the game right there. They had, I think, 13 points in the first half off of our turnovers. We had 10 turnovers the first half, so turnovers was our Achilles heel again today. We had 16 for the game, but it's hard when your starting point guard has 7. That's tough. And but listen, he's our starting point guard, so we're going to roll with him. And there's going to be mistakes, and he'll get better in this, and that's part of it. And it's a learning situation. And this is his first time he's been in this type of game where it's a crunch time game, and the ball's been in his hands. And he'll get better from it. We'll learn from it, and he'll improve from it.
I saw when he checked out there, I guess in the last couple minutes,
Yep.
that Kedron went over to him, put his arm around him on the bench, and kind of said something to him. I know Kedron obviously hadn't played in a number of games here, but you got to like that guy still clearly is invested in what's.
Kedron's been a modeled, student athlete. He's been a really good teammate. He's been a positive guy. He wants to play. I know it's not easy for him. He's not playing, and we made the decision that we were going to roll with Pookie, and he's been playing well. We put Damani as the backup point, but that doesn't mean Kedron's not going to be back in at some point. He's just got to stay ready. But to his credit, he has been a good guy and has been a good teammate to his fellow teammates. So I'm proud of him there. And this was a learning experience for Pookie, and he cares. Pookie cares. Pookie's he's good. But he's a freshman. I mean, remember, he didn't do anything last year. He was at the rec center. So this is all new to him, and this is all part of it, and this is all part of growing pains, and he just has to continue to get better.
Josh, do you think Woodson's offensive game, coming off the great game against Houston, was affected because he had to shut down Stark?
No, I mean, listen, he has to. He's open, and he had 3 really good looks from 3-point range. Great looks. They weren't forced. They were wide open. He just got to make them. He does, but the thing where he wasn't good today was like he didn't box out a couple times. He didn't get that rebound on the free throw, didn't box out here, didn't come up with the fit. He's usually great at that. That's where he's not only is he a shooter, but he makes winning plays. Today he didn't make the winning plays that we needed for him to make, and so he just didn't have a good game, didn't play well. Our perimeter guys did not play well today. No other way to look at it.
Lamar actually pointed this out, but this is really the first time that you've had Trayshawn and Avery play poorly, recently. This game really affected the offense. I mean, obviously, Avery didn't make any outside shots.
Well, I thought our entire perimeter players didn't play well. If you look at Trayshawn, Avery, Pookie, you look at their numbers, I mean, they're combined 5 for 17 for 23. Those are starting guards, 5 for 23 with 9 turnovers between the 3. And then, Markelle comes in 0 for 2. Damani's 1 for 3. Karan was 2 for 3. So we really didn't get great production from our perimeter guys. But our starting 3 guys who played a lot of minutes, as you see, just didn't play well. But when you shorten the rotation and you're rolling with guys, you're going to live with some poor performances if that's going to happen. And you just hope that, as I've said many times, everybody, with this team, there's going to be peaks and valleys and highs and lows. And I was hoping that some of the lows would be done, but they're here. Today's a low. There might be more lows as we go out throughout the year, but I also know that we will continue to improve. And even though we lost this game, we are a different team than we were at the beginning of the year. We are a different team. We got hit today by Pookie being a freshman, and this is new to him. And Trayshawn didn't play well, and Avery didn't play well, and that comes back to bite us in the butt.
Do you think this one will be a tough one to move on just because?
Well, I mean, you're losing stinks, but you can't sit here and sulk and complain and feel sorry for yourselves. We play at SMU and at Houston Thursday, Sunday, so we got to find a way to get back going. I mean, last year we beat South Florida at South Florida, came home, lost to Cincinnati, and then we went in and beat Louisville at Temple. So things happen. Basketball's a funny game. It's a game of runs. And we'll have to find a way to win on the road. And listen, this is the first time for all these guys. This is their first true road game. For Trayshawn, for Pookie, for Avery, for Markelle, for Chris, for Damani. I mean, for all those guys, this will be their first true road game. Will be on Thursday. I mean, we've played some neutral games, but they have not been any true road environment. So this will be a learning experience for them.